Game started.
Snooker 147 from, where is that? That is Australia. Okay, let's start off with e4. e4 g6. Okay. Oh, this could be the modern defense. Yeah. And I can play something like the three pawns attack here, the Austrian attack. And the key is he didn't open up a line for a queen to give a check until after I played this move f4, so it gives me time to get my knight here. So that's when you can play that. Now the bishop, just develop the bishop and castle. Then see where the rest of the pieces go. I could play c3 to shore up the center, or I could go on with c4 and play a four pawns attack. Okay, so he's gone with kind of a Dutch or King's Indian setup with the f-pawn coming forward. I can take, or I can lock it up. This might be a good position just to clamp down on. I mean, I have a knight to g4 I can play. Knight g5. Knight g5 and queen to h5. It seems like it's an idea. I should probably develop a few more pieces. Knight g5, queen h5, he can reply with just h6, chasing things away, and it's defended by the bishop there. Not too scary. Although the knight on g5 might go after the e-pawn, which is perhaps a weakness here. It would make more sense, though, for me to develop a couple more pieces, maybe get a rook on the d file opposite his queen. I'm just wondering if I should prevent the knight. The knight can't come to b4 at the moment because the queen is guarding that square. Okay, yeah, so he's going to attack the f-pawn as well as the bishop, so I have to drop back. Maybe I should have gone there directly. I was thinking about that, but then I thought I didn't want to block the d file, but I really wasn't taking into account this move, this knight d5 move. Okay, so now he is looking at these dark squares. I think I do want to play pawn to a3 and just cover these guys, and then play knight to c3. And if he trades it off, you know, that's his good knight, so I don't worry about that. I guess he could trade off and then bring a new knight there, the replacement knight. Sort of gains a tempo for him because I don't want to give up my bishop. So I have a good pair of bishops here, but they're not doing a whole lot just yet. Let's put the rook on the d file. Play for c4 perhaps, and he's stopping that, but c4 anyway. Pawn takes, bishop takes. Looks like it leaves me with a better pawn structure. And if he moves the knight, I can take on b4 if nothing better. Yeah, this kind of thing. I thought this ought to be good. I thought this ought to be good. Let's see. He's going after the b-pawn, perhaps? Yeah, so that makes sense. Let's see. Do I want to block this with the bishop? He can take it. Is his knight coming in here to deliver another check? No, I don't see it. So he's just going to get a pawn, though. Okay, is there anything to prove his queen position somewhat awkward? Not easily. Rook here to defend the a-pawn or taking his a-pawn. It's hard to say. Let's start with the little defense. So Snooker 147 has picked up a pawn here. Yeah, he's not in bad shape really, and he's going after my bishop. I think I will take that and bring his rook here, where I might get a tempo on it. I certainly don't want to take the knight, and I don't want to move the bishop off the diagonal and expose my rook. Now I could grab his a-pawn. I could set up first for a discovered attack on his queen. Let's see, I should stop and think about his ideas. He's got the knight looking at this square. Queen can't come back along this diagonal. Yeah, my idea of bishop takes a5 would fall victim to knight takes f4. Unless this knight were moved out of the way. Maybe after I chase his queen away, I play knight to e4. That looks good. It attacks two pawns, one of them which is undefended. Knight d4. His bishop is still shut in here. My bishop is not looking so great either. So now what's that? That's attacking this pawn. Now I can take the a-pawn and reestablish material equality. This diagonal would be good, but you know he's got this knight here. The knight covers the b4 and c3 square, so it's actually kind of dominating my bishop in a way. Okay, so he kicks the knight. Knight here, knight here, knight here, or back. Knight back to e2. Knight back to e2 defends f4. And helps control c3. Looks like a good square. So let's then I'll bring my bishop back from its foray, I guess. Yeah, so the knight can drop into that square. So from here it goes to light squares. Here, here. Yeah, so this square would be a problem. And where else? Here and here. So another knight move, maybe over here to g3. You know, I don't know what the knight is doing on g3. Knight here, though, blocks the bishop. Oh, knight back. I guess I want to route the knight to f3. So I'm going all the way back to g8, also covering the c2 square where this knight was threatening to come in and fork, and exposing an attack on the knight, so the knight needs to be defended or find a home somewhere. Okay, found a home, and well, let's get my rook to a better square, maybe here on an open file. Keep control of the f2 square. Oh, he can take my bishop. Ah. He can just take my bishop. Well, it looks like Snooker has taken has not taken advantage of this opportunity. Okay, but now I have a problem where I have two things hanging. The bishop is hanging, and the pawn on f4 is hanging. And I don't want to rely on him not seeing that the bishop is loose. Let's see, bishop here is no good because he just takes it. Okay, so I retreat the bishop to c3. He takes here, and he's also ganging up on this. Maybe I attack the knight. That's all. It's all horrible. Okay, if I could move the rook somewhere to defend the pawn, that would solve both problems, because moving the rook defends the bishop, but nowhere defends the pawn. Okay, I'll move the rook to defend this pawn. kick the bishop. Exposing myself on this diagonal. One bad move after another. Queen here check would pretty much end the game. Well, I can block with the rook. Then he comes in with the knight. I guess it's barely hanging together for me. This is horrible. Terrible play here. He took the there, yeah. It's hitting this rook. Let's see. The queen check comes from this square, so let's cover. Let's cover c2 or what is that? b7. Let's cover queen b7 check. Okay, so the queen comes in over here. Not bad, but I'll chase the queen away with my bishop, maybe. Then if his queen moves somewhere that doesn't defend this bishop, I can take it. And trade the rook for 2 pieces, and I'll just be down the exchange. But he could just play queen back to f6. He doesn't do that. Okay, let's... oh, but that defends, right? So knight here attacking the queen. How does that work? I'll try it. Attacks the queen. He can push on. I take the queen. If he doesn't, if he moves the queen, then I grab at least the pawn here. Yeah, the queen went there, hitting my rook, which is defended, fortunately. Let's see. Do I have any counterplay here? Let's take this guy. Make sure I keep covering all of these light squares, whereas he has this devastating check now. Okay, and I can play H, if he doesn't take, I could play H3 there and chase the knight away.
Check.
Okay, so he found the check. But in this position, I have a square for my king at least. So where do we stand? It's actually the same number of pieces, rooks and bishop, against rooks, queen. Rooks, queen, and bishop versus rooks, queen, and knight. So in the pawns I have 3 and he has 4. So I'm doing much better than I deserve. Can I take that? Bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, king takes. Knight takes, rook takes, queen takes, queen takes. He's got a check, but I don't see that interferes with anything here. And if he comes here with the knight or the rook, I can take it. Although if I take back, this hangs. So he went for the trade. Is there some really good check that he has at this point?
Check.
There is a check. But is it any good, or did I just pick up another pawn there somehow? Let's see. Where would the king rather be? I guess it's good on the F file here. Now the rook is loose, this rook, but I wanted to maybe get my pieces in a position to double. Incidentally defending the a-pawn. Not really defending the a-pawn, huh? I take the queen, he takes. Take the rook, he takes here. Is there some kind of check I can deliver? So maybe this will just be a pawn-up endgame with rooks. So queen takes, pawn takes. It's my move. I can put the rook behind. I can put this rook in front. Yeah, it's better for me with the queens off because my king is a bit exposed. Let's attack. And attack. And let's chase this rook around. He could have defended that better, I think. He gets a check here, right?
Check.
And then he can take this pawn, and I'll take this one. It'll be a 1 against 2. Should be a draw. If I
Check.
get this advanced pawn. If he does that, that loses a rook. And I win all of a sudden. Oh, well, I guess that's why his rating is so much lower.
Black resigns.
Oh, my. Anyway. Yeah, I think he should have won that game. Okay, well, I will upload this and do a postmortem anyway. See you guys later. Bye.